Hi everyone, it's Julie, and I think that it's 2021, and the topic today is 5 reasons that now is the time to start an organizational or corporate mentoring program. So I'm targeting this video a little bit to HR professionals, to diversity professionals, to CEOs and leaders who are concerned about culture and want to drive a better culture in their workplace. So let's start with reason number 1. Reason number 1 is a big one. It's the mental health and well-being of your employees and your team. Right now, and we're smack in the middle of COVID, people are not able to get together in person. People, when they get together or see each other, we are behind masks. So the solution has been Zoom teleconferences. Well, here's the issue. We're seeing major Zoom fatigue. Ask a university professor or a high school teacher, how are you guys doing with kids staying focused on Zoom? The answer is turning Zoom on, falling back asleep. Oh, class is over, at least from my daughter. So people are getting a lot of fatigue from Zoom. And what happens is about 50% of people can stay engaged, at least from what I've seen from working with a big insurance company where we could track engagement rates. It was 42 to 50%. Creating and people are struggling. They're distracted. They have some PTSD. Zoom is not making them feel more connected, which is what it's supposed to do. So we've really got to focus on mental health of our team. They need to feel a good sense of connection. When I was working with a company and we put people into private rooms to have mentoring conversations, the rates went up from 50% to 97%. So I really want to encourage that now is a great time to start a mentoring program because you within your company can help facilitate more one-on-one connections that drives more productivity and more of a feeling I'm not isolated, I'm not alone. Now, this is critical to point 2, management. There was a study by Association for, and really, let me backtrack, rethinking management and management training. So there was a study by Association for Talent Development. And when you provide manager training, they saw an increase in productivity of over 20%. But when a manager has a mentor, productivity shot up to over 84%. So the mentor, think of a mentor as being a great book. And they are filled with beautiful chapters of experience that can meet a manager when they need that information the most. So if I'm a manager, my mentor might open up from their experience, chapter 17 today, the chapter on managing people more effectively. And next week, my manager might open up chapter 4. And that topic is wellness and how to stay motivated during hard times in the company and how to deal with micromanagement or other things that will be important. So really when managers get mentored, it increases their productivity, but it does something else. It increases the chain of mentoring. I mentor someone else and I'm a manager. I also have a mentor. It's like, and then I can share from my grand mentor or my mentor with my proteges, learning and information. So really good mentorship becomes a pay it forward chain. Point 3, I was working with a major U.S. government entity focusing on law enforcement a couple years ago. And I went into a room, which was their diversity council. And we did a pre-Christmas, pre-holiday flash mentoring event for them. And I asked them a question I often ask. How many of you in this room have mentors? And out of 35 people, 4 hands went up. And then I said, no, let me rephrase. Do you have someone you can go to on an ongoing basis for professional advice? A few more hands went up. So I'm looking at this room and it's like 15, 20% are saying that they have mentors. But then I asked the next question. How many of you are currently mentoring someone else? And at this major law enforcement agency, a government agency in Washington, D.C., guess what? Only 2 people raised their hands to say that they were actually mentoring someone else. And this was a diversity council. The 2 men were the 2 and only 2 white men in the room. And I share this story because I share it a lot with women leaders. We need to mentor. We need to sponsor. If we want more diversity and inclusion, we need to mentor and sponsor diversely. We need to identify people that do not look like ourselves, do not mirror us, different ages, different races, different viewpoints, different political parties. We need to mentor more diversely. And in doing so, we create more inclusion, more belonging. A lot of people don't mentor because they're afraid of the commitment, or because they do not want to intrude and say, hi, I'm your mentor, nice to meet you. They don't want to put that, they don't want to step into someone's lives without an invitation. But with a formal mentoring program, we can get around a lot of that by engineering mentoring. And we say, look, we want you to get together just twice a month on Zoom, on Google Chats, on FaceTime, in person, socially distanced, but 1 hour twice a month for 6 months or for 9 months. Your whole commitment is only 12 to 18 hours. And guess what? Mentoring is a mutually reciprocal, mutually beneficial relationship where the mentor tends to possess experience, skills, and knowledge that their mentee wants. But every mentor I've spoken to, including myself, get just as much out of it. We learn different perspectives when we mentor diversely, when we mentor intergenerationally. And I love now asking people significantly younger than I am that have totally different perspectives to mentor me. And guess what? This drives diversity and belonging, but it also drives our mental health because I can be of service to another person. So if I'm struggling, it gives me purpose and we feel more connected. So my, oxytocin or whatever raises from the act of mentoring. Number 4, your leaders. My mentor said to me, leaders lead, so lead. I would ask any leader how you are building a living legacy. Are you being deliberate in who you mentor and who you sponsor? Are you really thinking about it? And I want you to think, or have your leaders think about themselves as owning a plane. And they're sitting there in first class and it's cozy and they get to choose who they want around them. They get to choose who joins them on their private plane, who's sitting with them in first class. Those people are people that they should be championing up the ladder, taking action on their behalf, sponsoring, advocating. Those people are your proteges. And sponsorship is crucial. In fact, so crucial that women actually are 3 times more likely to have a mentor, and men are twice as likely to have a sponsor. A mentor speaks with you, experience shares, can give you that bolt of energy and enlightenment. Light bulbs go off in mentoring relationships. A sponsor takes action on your behalf, champions you behind closed doors for opportunity. So leaders lead, so lead. And I ask HR executives and CEOs to lead your leaders and train them to be good mentors and sponsors, and make sure that they have deliberate plans on who they will be championing, who will be sitting with them in first class, who will be sitting in coach, even the interns that might be sitting at the end of the plane. This is a pay it forward chain. We've got to get in the game and create this as part of our culture. My friend Ravi said to me, often when leaders climb the ladder, they forget that the ladder was ever there. Well, what I want to say is that ladder is filled with your children, your nieces, your nephews, your employees' children, and people you care about. And we need to help people rise through the ranks in terms of opportunity and stretch assignments and growth and productivity, and not isolating. So point number 5, the 5th reason that you need to start a mentoring program now is, the question is out there. Is mentoring nice to have or have to have? And I'll be really candid here as a practitioner who's built mentoring programs for the last 7 years, actually more than that, who's been in workforce development for 25 years. Out there in corporate America, mentoring is nice to have. It is not a have to have. It's a maybe. It's not a have to have. And the reason is most people don't really know how to stand up and engineer a mentoring program. Most people think that mentoring is just happening holistically, that people are doing the right thing, that they're helping each other. Mentoring saves lives. If you think of a 12-step program, when you go into a 12-step program, people ask, and let me say it saves careers. People often, first thing is get a sponsor, which is essentially a mentor. And those relationships between two addicts, between a sponsor and a newcomer into a 12-step program, it's the art of that model that has saved millions and millions and millions of lives from addiction. What do you think mentoring can do if we scale it in corporate America through associations? How many more people will you retain at your company? In a study, people who mentored got promoted 6 times more than people who didn't. Mentees got promoted 5 times more. Retention rates were 20% higher, saving that company in that initiative $6.4 million. So I ask you leaders, is this something complicated, difficult, hard to do, and we're not going to try anymore? Are we going to focus on sponsorship because it's just the new shiny object? Or can we do both? Teach mentorship, teach sponsorship, build these pay it forward chains, but it's only going to work with your support, your leadership, that we advocate and we champion mentoring programs within our companies, and we're committed. At my company, To Mentor, we will train you to build and stand up your entire mentoring program. We will train your team to bring the program in-house, or we will come in and run it with you as your partner. We will come in and offer some speed mentoring just to be an on-ramp for people to start boosting their confidence that they are enough for mentoring, that they can mentor, and that they will benefit. We will all benefit from having mentors. So I'm going to stop now because I've shared a lot. I thank you, and I really hope you'll reach out to me at Julie @2mentor, TWO mentor.com, and let's have a discussion on the 8 steps to launching a corporate mentoring program that is sustainable, that will drive mental health, diversity, inclusion, management, succession planning, define leadership as they build their living legacies, and again, start building the case study for your company. Thank you.